Okay, so this lesson is over multiples. Now, multiples are actually pretty easy to understand. They are a little bit, they're very different from factors, but they can be easily confused. So multiples, the key thing about multiples, what you need to know about those is you are pretty much skip counting. That's what you're doing. You're skip counting. So if I were to say, what are the multiples of 2? I would start at 2 and start skip counting up. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, and so on. If I were to ask, what are the multiples of 3? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. Multiples of 4. 8, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28. Multiples of 5. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So anything, if they ever say, what are the multiples? Or give me 3 multiples, give me 5 multiples. You're just skip counting. You're writing the numbers that come after it if you were to skip count. You say them when you skip count. Now, when we talk about factors, those are different. Factors are what fit into the number, okay? So a factor, the biggest key there is you'll see a 1. If you're given a list of numbers and you're asked, is this showing multiples or factors? And you see the number 1, then you know you've got factors, okay? The reason is, if I were to say, what are the factors of 2? The factors of 2 are 1 and 2. The factors of 3 are 1 and 3. The factors of 4 are 1, 2, and 4. Factors are what we multiply to get the number. So the factors are what we multiply to get the number. Multiples are skip counting. And we start at the number. So multiples of 2, I skip count on from 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Factors of 2, what times what will equal 2? 1 and 2, okay? So if I'm seeing factors, a lot of times you'll see bigger numbers if they're asking about factors. Like they'll say, what are the factors of 42? That makes more sense. And whenever we're doing factors, we always start with 1 and we end with our number. That's another thing that will help you. And then I go from there. 42 is even, so I know that 2 will go in. 2 times what?
21.
Will 3 go in? No. Will 4 go in? Yeah, you can look at the number line.
Yes. 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 Yes.
No. 4 will not go in. Will 5 go in?
No.
Will 6 go in?
Yes.
Because 6 times,
7.
so that means 7 will go in. Well, now I'm done. So here are my factors. 1, 2, 6, 7, 21, 42. When I'm given factors, 1 will always be in there. That is what gives it away. And when I see 1, I then look for the biggest number to tell me what number it's telling me to find the factors for. Multiples. You will never be asked, what are multiples of 42? If you are asked for a multiple of 42, that means you have to skip count by 42. So 42, 84. My brain won't go farther than that without pencil and paper to write it down. But see, that doesn't make sense. You will never be asked to find multiples of 63, multiples of 81. You will be asked to find factors. You'll notice here in the book when you start actually doing the work, 7, 4, 6, 5, because you always want to start low. You always find the lowest number that you can start to get those multiples on. So those are things to tell the difference between. So let's try it out. Multiples. Tell me, I've already done multiples for 2. Oh, I did it for 3 too.
And 4 and 5.
Okay, show me some multiples of 9. If I'm asking for multiples of 9, what are we going to do? What are my next numbers for multiples of 9?
18,
Okay.
27, 36, 45,
54, 63, 72, and 81. Okay, those are multiples. If I were to be asking for factors of 9, that's 1, 3, 9. Okay? Multiples will have a lot more. What about multiples of 10? 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and on and on and on and on. Okay? So really, to recap, multiples, you'll always have a lower number. It will always be a lower number.
What is it going to be lower than?
It will always just be, like, honestly, probably less than 12. Because 12 will work, but that means 6 would work, and that means 2 would work. And possibly 3 would work. You'll see what I mean when we get into the work, actually. But the smallest number will be what your multiple is. Again, you're not going to be asked for multiples of 63 because then you're going to have to be skip counting by 63. So multiples, we're skip counting. You always start at the number they ask you about. What are multiples of 5? You skip count by 5. What are multiples of 8? You skip count by 8. Multiples of 7, you skip count by 7. This whole lesson is going to be, everything you do in here is going to be multiples. Don't get confused with factors. Factors, you can have small numbers, but factors will also get big. So you'll have small and big numbers. But the key to figuring out that it's talking about a factor is a 1. Okay? And if it were to give you a list of something, if it were to say, so let's say, if you were to be given a list of numbers, let's say, and then, oops. So I have a list of 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, 20. What numbers are these? Are these factors or multiples of what number? So first off, you see factors because you immediately see a 1. There's no 1 in multiples. The next thing you do is you find the largest number. If it's nicely in a line like this, that's obvious, 20. So I'm showing you factors of 20 because we always have 1 and itself. 1 times 20 is 20. 2 times 10 is 20. 4 times 5 is 20. So it's like a little factor rainbow that you make here, okay? Factors are easy to spot because you find the 1 and then you find the biggest number. Multiples, they're always going to ask you for multiples of a smaller number. Or they'll show you just this. They'll show you 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28 and say, what number are these multiples of? And then you have to go, well, 8 to 12 is plus 4. 12 to 16 is plus 4. 16 to 20 is plus 4. So I'm going up by 4s. So this is obviously multiples of 4. Okay? So that's going to be the key to differentiating between these two. Okay? Cool?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Cool.
All right.